Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Gimmick, your first episode of December. Last episode of 2020. It might be. We'll see. We'll see what the next episode is. We'll see. But I am, as always, the Canadian Nightmare, Tresnell. And I'm joined by a man that I am very sad for, Justice for Stu. David, how's it going?
Going good. My man Stu got robbed of his opportunity to make his impact on John Cena's last match. So justice for Stu.
I could I could not. There's a lot of things I couldn't believe last night. That was one of them. Of just, I wonder if he said anything because I know that John Cena did this whole weird apology tour where he's like, "Oh, I didn't tell the office I was doing the age entrance thing, and I just didn't want to make anyone mad, and that was a mistake." It's like he should have learned then, but like that was so egregious. I hope they like post edit it after the fact. But yeah, I was so annoyed. It just felt like just go. It felt very much like the Kevin Dunn era. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird stuff. But we were joined by Real Heat Brother, the man who's been getting leeching tons of points off of John Cena's last run. S Bubs, how you doing today?
Good.
Yeah. So, how you feeling now? You're a point getter. John Cena officially retired. Obviously, he's only going to give you a goose egg for a little bit, but you got to replace him, I guess. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think so far I did the draft points so far, and I think my new picks are definitely doing a lot better than everyone I had before. So
hmm For people that don't watch the video, it just looks like S Bubs has the background of CM Punk and Cody putting the title on Cena, but it just looks like they're putting it on like they're holding S Bubs by the back of the head or something. But yeah, primarily that's what we're going to talk about today. Obviously, mostly we're going to start off with Cena's last match. We'll talk about overall Saturday night's main event, and then just some other WWE NXT stuff. We'll touch upon AEW World's End a little bit, and then the C2, because yeah, we're going to figure that out because obviously the World's End pay-per-view is always a shitty spot the day after Box Day, the 27th. So we'll see when we get to that weekend. Maybe if it lines up, maybe we'll do something like the 28th, like the Sunday. But if it doesn't, we'll do it in the new year. And then, as we've said before, the new year we'll catch up on GMO as well. There'll be a couple months. We'll do two episodes of that because we got to finish the season. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. So whether it might be the last week of December or first week of January, look out. That's when we'll talk about World's End and whatever else is going on in WWE. We'll see because let's see yeah, the Raw show's the 5th, right? So that's kind of too far. So yeah, we'll probably have something in between that. But yeah, we're here today to talk about. I ain't calling him the GOAT. I'm not doing this whole revisionist history thing. And I know they're trying to push that. And I guarantee you, just watch. When Roman Reigns retires, they're going to do the same thing. Because John Cena's already been like, well, I consider Roman Reigns to be the GOAT. So I feel like it's like whoever is the booker, whoever is the era, like that's who is the current GOAT. And then we move along, right? But we did get that yesterday. So I guess we'll just start with the overalls. I'll ask you, David, what do you think overall of the show? And then after we will talk about Cena's match first, and we'll go individually. But overall, as far as the event, obviously, it was a 4 match card, kind of similar to PLE. They, other than like the announcing stand, they kind of dropped out all the Saturday Night's main event, like classic retro stuff. So, how do you feel about this event overall before we get to the one by one?
Overall, I feel like it was a very predictable PLE. Like everything as it was happening, it kind of felt like, all right, I see where they're going with each one's. It was kind of easy to predict the endings to matches, but there were some good matches sprinkled within the predictability of it. And then it comes to the ending, and they always say it's how you leave them going home that they'll remember. And I'm definitely going to remember how they left me going home.
Yeah. What about you, S Bubs?
yeah, I enjoyed the show, and I'd say for the matches, I'd say I like it more now. It's only on Peacock with
Mm.
that there aren't the commercial
Yes.
breaks between the matches. Because even in person, like, because I went to one of the Saturday Night's main event, and like when they went to commercial, it was like, well, it's like, well, the match isn't ending,
Yeah,
like
it kills the
soon.
tension in a
Like
bit.
I
Yeah.
remember it was like the tag match. It was like Seth and Braun versus like
Punk and
Punk and
Sammy,
Sammy.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they were working over Sammy. It's like, well, they're not gonna hot tag Punk in until the
Yeah.
end of this commercial
Hit him
break.
with the Copeland headlock,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked it more. I've been liking it more in that way, where it's kind of just like a normal PLE now, pretty much.
hmm
And as for the final match, I did really like the final match, and I liked the ending. So I was it's been funny looking at all the people online.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to that because it's definitely I think Dave will know what event, and I'll talk about, but it definitely is cycling something that's happened before as far as just like the reaction to it. But yeah, the show overall, I'm the opposite end where I hated the show. I like it is more like the PLE, but man, just the amount of downtime we had. There was just this one sequence where the match ended like, okay, now we're going to John Cena's last match. And then they go to Steph and Joe. That's like, okay, they talk. And they show John Cena tribute video. And then they go back to Steph and Joe. And I'm just sitting here. I'm just cycling. I'm spinning out. I cannot believe like how many times we got to go to. And like Steph and Joe, I love Stephanie McMahon. I don't think her and Joe have any chemistry whatsoever. It's so.
Not at all.
I'm not saying that's on Steph or Joe. I just think they aren't a great pairing. So it just feels very robotic. I feel like I'm having no fun at there. At least with Jesse, which I agree that they should not have him on the main broadcast because he just says shit they don't want. But at least it was like, well, what's he gonna say, right? But this is just, it feels awkward. And even the tributes throughout the show were fine, but they just felt very just like sound clippy. I wish there was a couple more longer emotional ones. I don't need to be like a John Cena dead tribute show, but just something a bit more. And I hate the celebrities with their jokes. And like I Peyton Manning was my favorite quarterback. She was like, hey, I hope you know they don't play your music at the mall. It's like, we bumped this for somebody else. Like we can't have like anybody doing stuff. Yeah, I think I guess we go in the other matches. The other match, I think we're all. I liked Coda. I like Oba and Cody a lot, but they did the trope that I hate, so that brought it all down. Bailey and Sol Ruco was really good, and then the tag I thought was very entertaining, but I thought it was a lot shorter than I was expecting. I thought they're gonna let them go a little bit crazy.
Super short.
Yeah, so everything kind of
I knew it was gonna be
underwhelmed.
short when they did like the Leon Slater like jump over the corner of the post. He does that like that's like
Near
the
the end.
finishing sequence.
It's his
of
shoulder
match.
blocks.
Like he does that. He throws
Okay,
the
I
guy
didn't know
into
that.
the ring and he does the 450. Like that's his end sequence of a match.
Yeah, and even Bailey Sol Ruco will get there, but at the beginning I thought it was like a little clunky, but they got there, and then the final match, which we'll get into now, I'm with some people and I'm with S Bubs, and I'm not sure. I think Dave is with us too, but I'm a supporter of the finish. I can't believe this because I've been very, like many people, very critical of Triple H's retirement tour. I think a lot of it's been not good. I think we're in Triple H's like really low period right now, but just for the gimmick, I'm wearing a nice '08 Triple H shirt that I can fit again now that I've lost some weight. It's so interesting because I feel like the reaction to this is very similar to the streak ending. It felt because I feel like
I was gonna say just for something I found funny is that like the tweet from the WWE account of like John Cena has retired has like 350,000 likes, and then a tweet calling for Triple H to be killed has like 100,000 likes.
Oh wow!
yeah, and that's the thing. This is where like everything I've seen, because I'm gonna tell this Travis totally more like people with scoopers and people with this stuff. It's not that serious. As we've said before, there are so many wrestling promotions, and that's how I got back into New Japan, like whenever 2019 or 2018, 17, when the product was just dog shit. I like tapped out on New Japan and I went back into it, and then I watched, Elite, and then AEW was there. That's where it's like forever. Everybody, it's like either you don't watch weekly or you can just do other stuff. We don't need to be talking about killing Triple H for like this. And this is where the weird thing. It's just like I guess it's a new crop of fans, but I can't even say that because Espos is a newer fan, and I think there are people that like it. I think I understood with the Undertaker one as far as I think you can always debate with the streak should have ended, should have not ended, right? I can understand that. I do think the biggest complaint,
this was a better match at least.
Well, absolutely, yeah. He wasn't concussed, yeah, and he wasn't concussed, yeah, and I was there live, and that was brutal, right? But even I think the bigger argument with the Taker thing is they chose the wrong guy, right? Which even with Lesnar, take out the real life stuff. For that year, it did heat him up, but you could have made an argument that maybe, yeah, eventually a couple years later, the big dog beats him, and maybe you should just saved it. With this, I don't have that because it's just, and I'm very happy the way the match went because I was worried the first 5 minutes of the match is Gunther wrestling him, and the first move Cena hits is the shoulder block, and I was like, oh my, like I think it was about the first 7-8 minutes, all Cena hit was just signature moves. He hit the shoulder. He did the 5 moves of doom twice. He did the FU. He did the attitude adjust, or he did the STF. So I was like, oh my god, like Cena's just doing this. So I was happy that it did evolve because I was really worried it was just going to be power bomb, FU, power like, and then we got to the end. We got to the middle where Gunther was taking some big spots as well, like off the table. Which it's a weird thing. I can't remember who else did this. There used to be somebody, I think it's Bobby Lashley. Whenever he gets German, he always like turns to the right. And Gunther was doing that last night. Anytime he got AA'd, he kept like trying to like land on his shoulder. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I don't
Don't
know.
do like I was
Yeah.
worried, especially the table spot. He landed right on the side and he's going there. But so the match evolved, and then we got this moment where Cena tapped out. And yeah, I was for it because I understand people that are big fans and love him. Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit too, but like with Cena, when I couldn't find the picture. I have a picture from SummerSlam '05 when he was getting booed. But I was there, I was rocking, I bought myself the chain gang necklace. Like I was a huge John Cena fan from '03 to '06, and then he dropped the rapper stuff and got very cheesy. And that's the same thing for me. It's just I don't have the love for John Cena that many other people do in my era or a little younger, because a lot of it wasn't his fault, but his booking and him on top was a part of a lot of some of the worst years in WWE. And I don't think that's all him, but it just kind of, he represents that, right? He represents when Punk's having his historic run that he's main eventing a pay-per-view with John Laurinaitis in a cage, right? So for me, I'm not as nostalgic. Like part of those reasons of me not watching WWE was how they booked Cena, right? That's not completely his fault, but to get to the tap out where I understand people go, oh, well, he's a never give up character, but if he passes out, which I think the other problem is we've seen so many pass outs the last like 5 years that it's almost that finish is overdone and it feels like someone's protecting themselves. If he passes out, okay, it protects him and you kind of get Gunther getting the big win. If he taps out though, which he did, it makes Gunther look like a monster and it gives him so much. And that's the point, because I've seen the biggest argument is how do you have the guy that never gives up tap out? Because his career's over. He's not building to anything else now.
Yeah.
He's done. Like he's done being as far as now, right? Obviously Saudi bag, but let's just say he does stay retired. Like the character of John Cena can
I
give
will
up.
say, I don't think he's actually gonna wrestle in Saudi, but he will
He'll
show
be
up
there,
and
yeah.
give someone an A. Like
Yeah.
I
he'll
agree.
have a
Yeah,
segment.
I agree exactly. Or even that's the year they do the Hall of Fame and he's there to like the wave. But like,
Yeah, something.
I just, to me, it's just that's the thing where it is building the next guy, right? And they did that with the streak. Again, you could argue the right person. I think Gunther is the right person. We'll see how this career killer thing kind of goes as they continue it. I hope they do. But that's my reason of like I do understand that point, but Cena's not going to be around anymore. He's done. So this puts Gunther over. It makes him a killer. Gunther should not lose for a while to me. Like even then, if you're going to have nothing for him to do, just have him cut promos. Just for me, it's just there. It was a bigger moment of Cena tapping out. And before I throw to one of you guys, the reason I just love that finish is because it was 7 minutes of it. And I like that it was finally just, man, I can't do this anymore. Like I literally can't. I could try to keep fighting, but he has me. That's it. It's over for me. I'm going to tap out. And that's where it was kind of like a veteran realizing, oh, I am done. And it kind of fits with Cena the whole time as being like, oh, my body's breaking down. So it's like, I physically can't get this guy off me. Cena from 10 years ago could have. Cena from 20 years ago could have. But this John Cena can't. And that's why he has to retire. So that's why I understand some people upset, but it's just, there's not like, okay, if he passes out or he wins, okay, you preserve the legacy of John Cena, but then he doesn't do anything in his last match. It's just for John. And John's got enough fucking moments over these last 2 decades. Like he was on top for so many times, beat so many guys that I don't think he should have, but I was fully in favor. But S-Bubs, you were also in favor of the finish, yes?
Yeah, yeah.
And what do you think about the
like,
match, obviously?
Yeah, I really like the match overall. Like I said, look, well, I was actually like, I was like maybe like 30 seconds behind or something because I had to go away for a second, so I just paused it and came back. So you guys like in the chat, you're like, oh, it was like finisher spam, but I was on the spot where like Gunther was just like hitting him with like the lariat over and over and over.
That was great.
So
Yeah.
so I was like, does Trash think that's like Gunther's finisher or something?
Yeah.
But
Clothesline
no.
from hell. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but after that, he got up and started doing like his sequence. But I really like the match. Yeah, like you said at the start, it felt like it's like, oh, Cena's going like he's just gonna go all out. But I like how Gunther kept putting the damage on him. And I thought it was I didn't see it didn't feel as long as I think it probably was. I'll say like once Cena got out of just like getting beaten down, I felt like David was saying, like, oh, this is slower than I expected. I'll say I wasn't really expecting like a fast match from Cena and Gunther, but I thought it had a good pace, and yeah, I liked the finisher. It's like He got out of one. How many did he like get up out of at the very end?
Like for
Like
the
for the
the
sleeper.
choke,
Yeah.
I think it was like 3 times,
Yeah,
right?
it was three. He had the one, he got out of it, so he threw him against the ring, and then Gunther immediately came back, got another one, started to put him to sleep. They did the 3 count. He popped up with the 3 fingers, and then after that, that's when Gunther started raining down the
Right, the
elbows.
3 fingers, right? What a spot! That was it's such a cheesy spot. It's fine, but yeah, then he did like the Death Riders, Brian elbows, and everything like that. I will,
Yeah.
Chris Evans, I will try to find it. It's a picture of me at '05 SummerSlam. I had a Matt Hardy shirt because I was a massive mark of Matt Hardy at the time, and it's me doing the whole word life, and I have the chain. I even bought they made rubber knuckles. I'm not sure. S-Bubs, did you ever see like the videos back in like '04 when John Cena was rocking like design? Yeah. So they sold those, but they were rubber. It was such a letdown because the picture, it was rubber, but the picture looked so much better when you got them. They were the cheapest things in the world. And I was so pissed as a kid. But oh yeah, I was a massive fan of Cena back then, and then obviously just took over wrestling for decades and just a reign of terror sometimes to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, what are we gonna do?
I'm okay with the finish of the match, especially the fact that he came out of 3 of those sleeper attempts. You know, it was finally like, all right, he tapped out. There's nothing for him after this. There's no rematch for a championship. There's no I got to come back Monday and face the audience. You know, this is it, and he knows he's riding out, so it made sense for him. And the look on his face when he tapped out was just like I'm giving up. I'm done. So that all made sense from a storyline perspective. I will say this: the match did last longer than I expected it to. It was 23 minutes and 45 seconds. No other match on this show went over 9.5 minutes. So it was definitely
That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
especially they didn't have a hard out too. Because I agree with that. Suppose I like it not being on NBC, but it's just like I was surprised by a couple with the tag that it didn't go. It just
it was
strange, so.
almost 4 times the length of the tag team match. So that will tell you something. But again, the match itself was good. I liked how it ended. The moments with Cena, man, Gunther has some amazing heat, and that's why I like the finish of this, because it makes sense if you are putting everything into Gunther going forward, then this was the perfect way to build him up as your next monster. And in my opinion, it also leads way to you don't need a Brock Lesnar on every show because you have Gunther.
And but like the two people in this show we don't need this anymore. I know people have said, even as Bubs have talked about, and Cena even said that the retirement thing. I still have to believe when I see it with Brock. I just feel like last minute is be like, oh, I love this money. You know, we'll have to see. But yeah. So I liked the clothesline spot. It was funny when they did the second move of Five Dooms. Gunther was just laying there and said, get up. And Cena was talking. You didn't hear him, but he was talking a lot during those sleeper holds. But no, I thought like even him like busting out the Famouser from the top rope was crazy. Like
He's done it a few times this year.
Yeah.
has he? I feel like I've
Yeah,
not
he did have
he's used that
SummerSlam.
he's used that
Right,
a couple
SummerSlam,
of times.
Right, yeah, SummerSlam, right. I forgot about that. Okay, so yeah, no, it was interesting, and then so that happens, and you get the whole crowd very much like the streak, it's very quiet. People are,
I
wondering
like
what's
it
happening.
with Gunther's music playing like over all the shocked reactions.
Yeah, it was good. And then the locker room comes out, and people are chanting bullshit, but then they see Triple H, and they all boo and stuff. And this was very interesting because I feel like it's fitting for John Cena's career, who's had a very rocky relationship with the crowd, and it's always been like, what's the crowd going to react like tonight? And I've never seen, even in kayfabe, people don't like the decision. Like after Undertaker lost a streak, people were in shock, and then when he stand up, they clapped. Right? I was there live. There wasn't bullshit or chanting about Vince or anything like that. But in here, we're usually okay. Cena would tap, you go, oh, that sucks. But when he gets up, the locker comes out. Usually, people be clapping, but no, they just turned and they kept chanting. And I was just so surprised that even in the retirement, fans were going to be like, oh, whatever, this sucks, but let's just cheer him. They're chanting bullshit. I love anytime they show Triple H, which I was like, oh, don't get on that apron. And he did, and they boo. And that's why I had to make a thumbnail of him laughing. And like, I think I'd love to talk to some of the people there, because I think there's some of the boos that are more just like frustration for maybe the full tour and not just last night. But I guess maybe they wanted to win. I don't
think
know.
for the reactions, for I see from like the more casual fans, it
Yeah,
is really just like, oh, he lost to
he
this
should have
Gunther
won.
guy. Like
Yeah.
John Cena is the
Yeah.
GOAT. He should never lose.
Well, and what's interesting, what I'll be curious to see going forward is with a moment if you watch the show, and I wasn't disappointed by this match, but if you are disappointed by this match, and then you have the crowd kind of booing, I wonder what that does to the psyche of people because I feel like it's almost like I didn't like this, and then the rest of the people are telling me this sucks, and I feel like you get less likely to come back. The explanation I use is the Rumble 2015 when they threw out Bryan and Roman won, and it was like there was a shift in viewership and feeling, and that's when Triple H cut the whole like, oh, maybe it was the year before, but they referred back to the whole, whatever he said. My friend Mike or my friend Dave and I are never gonna watch.
It's my friend Mark.
Yeah, or
My
is
friend
never gonna
Mark told me
watch
he's gonna
again.
stop watching.
He cuts this whole promo about this, and then as the weeks go forward, ratings fell down. So it was like it's the dumbest thing. Like I get what because Triple H is like that. So I think he was laughing more of like, oh, we got because I've seen the like he's laughing right in your face. No, I think they view it as like a good thing of like, oh, we got them. I think there is some of that, but then you just have to know like they're so used to these moments and things happening. Now I feel like this newer audience, it's like, do they watch this and feel fulfilled when it happens? And it's tough too because I wonder also if people boo less and react or boo more and react more to like because rarely do I remember in the time Vince ran things, Vince ever got booed or F you Vince chants and stuff. He deserved them, but anytime Vince would
Yeah.
come out, it'd be the worst dog shit era of WWE. But if Vince comes out, people are bowing, cheering. I feel like stuff like Unreal and the press conferences make it really known that this is a show now, and this is the guy that decides that. Even if it's Cena being like, I'm going to tap, this way it's going to go, all the eyes are way more on Triple H than they ever were for Vince. So I feel like that's a tough thing for him, but we'll have to see, but they just got to fall through with Gunther. Like, that's just what they got to do is make sure that the booking now, for me, like, to the rest of his WWE career is great so then it doesn't feel like a waste. Because, yeah, in a couple of years, if he's tapping to Jimmy Uso in WrestleMania, then, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done this. But this should be the, okay, now he's a real made man. And even then, if he becomes a guy that doesn't wrestle much on Raw or SmackDown, he's a big-time match guy, that's kind of fun. Like, even though he's a great wrestler, it's like, you have to now be careful with him. And that's not me confident in them because Triple H has made some and team have made some very questionable decisions last year. Sorry, Swabs, I cut you off there.
No, I was just like, well, I guess in terms of like, you need to continue with Gunther. I guess the next possible one, well, the thing with the AJ Styles retirement, like, the word
Yeah.
was like, it might be like Mania, not like the full year like Cena. I could see that, like, if Gunther's not going after one of the world titles at Mania, I could see Gunther and AJ being like a Mania match.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, especially because that fits there. And it's if we're going to get to Brock versus him at SummerSlam, you're not going to do it there. Right. And I feel that's where if Gunther is wrestling AJ Styles, because we talked about this at WrestleMania where it's like, where does Gunther fit in? That feels like a big match for him to like, okay, he's not in a title match, but he's retiring AJ Styles. Right. Because that's the tough thing now. Because if you look at even what they did with Brock Lesnar, he beat the streak, and then 6 months later, he's world champ, right? I don't think they're doing that with Gunther because you got whatever's happening with Cody and Roman. We know it's going to go Punk and Braun. So it's just Gunther right now is a little bit ways away from the title. So AJ and Gunther would make sense to me if there's, again, barring injuries or anything. Maybe AJ, like, even eliminates him at the Royal Rumble, right? They could do that classic long-term build where it's like they're in the final four because I would like it if they actually I want AJ to lose the tag title soon and start getting him some main event stuff, so
Yeah, I mean, I think I was gonna say like maybe they lose it to like the Usos, but then I also still think the Jay heel turn is coming. I still fully believe it.
that man was waddling last night. That I
Jackie was trying to get him to like she was like,
yeah.
give us a yeet and go on your way.
Yeah, and then
She even said it at one point, like, just give us the catchphrase and I'm going to let you go.
Yeah. And even on his Instagram stories talking about his promo and everything like that, like, oh my goodness. But yeah, David, also, you've been watching for a long time. What did you take from the reaction of the fans? Do you think it's just like a night of thing? Do you think it's going to play into more down the line of people tuning in? Do you think it's just emotion? Like, where were you? And were you surprised to see this? Where were you?
So I told somebody today that the way that Triple H got booed reminded me of the scene from Star Wars when Obi-Wan's talking to Anakin about you're supposed to be the chosen one. That's the way people feel about Triple H as compared to Vince. Like you were supposed to come in and save us from the Vince era,
yes.
and now we're getting a lot of the same booking. You joined there, and I think that's why people are so pissed is because they feel like, okay, this is still the old school style. You're not doing anything different. You're not quote unquote listening to the fans. But again, Triple H had that shit-eating grin on his face, like I got you to feel something. The entire arena is erupting, and I got you to feel that way. So in that sense, I mean, mission accomplished. I do think that Gunther should go on just a monster deal. If he's not going for a world championship, then he needs to be the one to retire. Whoever is next to retire, like he's that guy. He bring back a modified version of the Legend Killer, and he's the man who puts you out to pasture. And I could see Gunther bragging about that, how he's retired John Cena, he's retired AJ Styles, he retired Randy Orton or whoever else is coming in. If you bring in Jericho, eventually retire him and just continue to build him up in that way if he's the new big bad.
And because you know why what you can do, because obviously if it's someone's last match, I am usually in the agreement that they should lose. I'm not trying to, be on complete Triple H bandwagon here, but it's like when he says like, oh, that's like a tradition. To me, it is. It's the best way you go out. I love AEW. I love Swerve Strickland. I love people. I hate people going around showing all the Sting stuff. The Sting retirement was so different. Even then, if you even like people have said Sting wanted to lose and they wouldn't let him, right?
Yeah.
But the other difference is for me of why I was fine with TK and stuff doing that. The last few years of Sting's career sucked. What happened in TNA, how he went out, was very underwhelming. He had this big run, it was nothing. The WWE run was a huge pain, and then he also had a career-ending injury. So it's not like Cena, who's had like even the times he's been around, like there's some questionable stuff like Austin Theory and Soul, but that is nowhere near. Hey, Sting's in the back of the ambulance, doesn't know if he's gonna be able to move again, right? Like to me, the Sting story. It's all a case-by-case basis, right? That story fit getting happy ending because, like I said, there was the last 5 years of his career. Even WCW, you can say like the brand, like he was the face of a brand that went out of business, right? So you can make an argument that, hey, this character that's been around since the 70s, 80s, popular people, well-loved, who's had like a couple shitty years. Let's give it a good ending here, right? So that I understand. We're seeing like, again, he doesn't need the good ending. The guy's been the face of the company for multiple decades. He's earned a lot of money. He's in a bunch of movies. That's why for me, it's like Cena can lose this, and that kind of feels a little fitting with the character. And even then too, like look at the pairing. The Young Bucks didn't need to beat Sting, right? I don't even know if I'd say Gunther needed to beat Cena because he could have lost and bounced back, but man, does it like bring him up big time, right? Where Buck's like, cool, they beat Sting. It's like that's not any like, and they're tag champions again. So for me, I hate that comparison because Sting and Cena's ending are very, very different. Like I think there's other ones where it's like, for me, I know it's his type of match, but like I still would have preferred like Undertaker putting over AJ because it's kind of crazy that in Saudi Arabia, Undertaker beat AJ in 15 seconds and then still goes to bury him. Like that's where I say, yeah, that's somewhere you go, you know what? It's not Undertaker, or it's not like Undertaker. No, it is Undertaker's fault that his last few years were shit because he should have retired a long time ago, and he's just coming back and putting on these really bad matches. Right? Like, that's his fault. He didn't break his neck like Sting. Like that's on him. He should have retired a long time ago. And I don't know if he needed to beat AJ, but that was like a fun, weird COVID match. Like didn't really matter, right? So I just that comparison of people using like, oh, and I like I said, I love AEW. I currently watch that more, but them using that as like the dunk on WWE, it's like. I don't think it is. Like, to me, it doesn't work the way, like, oh, look, this is the way it works. It's like, what did they do with Brian? They gave him a super sad, depressing ending. So it's not like, oh, every time someone retires in AEW, they're a huge hero and they win. It's like, no, it all depends on the story. Brian's story needed the sad, Moxley's going to kill him, and that set up Death Riders, right? So it's like, it's case by case. When people are like, oh, AEW would never do this to a legendary figure, it's like, they already did. Like, and they will do it again.
I don't think Tony Khan even hated the Cena finish. Because if he did, because he did do the thank you for watching AEW,
yes.
But if he hated it, he would have done it right away. He did this
or he promotes a match later. Too. He always promote like this Thursday. Watch for like he knows the right time to dunk. I think he was watching
Gunther and was like, this is some good shit right here. I need this guy in my company.
Yeah, which one? He's gonna throw Cena the bag, and Moxley's gonna do the same thing with the plastic bag, choke him out. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird that people have been showing that as the Sting thing is like that's the way to do it. It's like no, I think that was the way for Sting to do it, not like all wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing, but yeah, obviously. So do we think Cena's going to the Hall this year? Or I think they wait one more year.
They've got him for 5 years, so I think that they wait another year.
Because he didn't do his big
I
speech.
could see it since it's like, especially since it's in Vegas, like where it was his last WrestleMania and he won the championship and everything. I could see it. I don't know, like when
Saudi's already claimed him.
Yeah, I would say because I feel like they would announce it like kind of early. I feel like they could have announced it already if they were doing it. Because I don't know, it feels random if they announce it like after like a Rumble or something that he's like not in. It's like just like, oh yeah, Cena's going in the Hall of Fame too.
Because they could have done that even last night, though, right? I think we even talked about that as like a theory where they would announce like, oh, it's going to end, and Triple H is going to be like, oh, and we got one more. Like honestly, though, that's why I'm almost against it not happening, because that moment last night when he brings him aside and points to the screen, that video could have ended with going in the Hall of Fame, whatever, So, like, I think I'm of two minds where, like, either you could do the Hall of Fame right now and you build upon, hey, we just did that last run and we're putting you in the Hall of Fame, or, like, make people miss him a little bit and then do the thing. I guess the only reason I was leaning towards the Hall of Fame is I was surprised he didn't do a speech or a promo or whatever. So I thought, well, maybe the Hall of Fame's coming up in a couple months. He's going to save all his good stuff for that. But I was surprised he said nothing. Obviously, he took the gear off. He saluted so many fucking times. Just that image of him going and whatnot. Yeah. But, and I like that they gave him like the mini Ric Flair one. I was kind of hoping they did the whole Ric Flair one where, and like, I'm not like a massive fan of their feud. I was very surprised like Randy wasn't Saudi. I was surprised they couldn't even talk to Big Dave and get him out there. Like it felt like there's a couple, even Rock. It's like you can't like you're just gonna film the Instagram video. It's like you can't like you're a CEO, man. Like or you're on the board. Like get out there. Like oh you fucking hijacked this guy's. Because Cody didn't turn heel. You hijacked this guy's last year. The most you could do is come up there and raise his goddamn arm. So like that's the only thing is it felt like with Flair, because I was there, it felt like everybody but Sting, because they tried to talk to TNA and they wouldn't allow it. But they felt like they got everybody you could think of in Ric Flair's career to be there, right? And with this, it just felt like, oh, we got like everyone that's on the roster here, So, but even Roman, even Roman wasn't there. I was just, he gets to do the thank you, John, at the end of the video, but I was surprised even Roman wasn't there. This guy who, Cena doesn't have to call you the GOAT, doesn't say you're the best of all time, but he goes out of his way all the time to like, oh yeah, I think the best wrestler of all time is Roman Reigns, and no Roman.
His game award. That was his travel for the week.
That was it. So, yeah, and I guess on that note we talked, but I know why people are mad. I was fine with them doing the archive footage of Vince. Yeah, I don't need to see Vince, but like, I'll take that over.
Like, I always wonder like where WWE keeps all these interview clips, because they use these for every single one of these videos. Like that Triple H interview, that Vince interview.
That's this era. This shirt. It's when he's that. It's
there's a Vince
one
that they use all the time. Like these must be from like 2008. That they
it is because I used to have a lot of those DVDs and whatnot, and that's why it is so interesting. It's like Triple H can't sit down for like 2 minutes and record like a new. It's like him with long hair in the ponytail. It's so funny, but. Yeah, like to me, I'll take Vince archival footage than what they really could have done. They really could have had this fucker, and I thought there was a chance. And man, I wonder how
turns around and Vince's music hits.
God, no.
I wonder what would have happened too with them booing Triple H and if Vince was there, because there's already a pocket of thank you Vince chances. People.
Oh no!
We don't need to do that.
The fuck you Vince chance would have been high throughout that building.
No, I don't think they would have been, man. I actually think they would have cheered. I think because they were so mad at Triple H, they would have been like, "It was better with him. It was better with the last."
Because at that point, do you then start to think, okay, if Vince is there, Vince made this call for him to tap out. This is Vince era shit. That's why.
Spin it, yeah.
That's why they did it.
I talked to Vince, and I think we're pretty happy with what happened. Yeah, but yeah, I'm just happy that I'm happy no political figures were there on screen. Like I didn't need the whole the circus pony show that I was worried they were gonna make this to do. So yeah, it was interesting. It's gonna be curious how it's looked upon later on, right? Because even the streak, me and Emily were just talking about today. It's like people all the time still go back and forth like if that was the right call, right? Like, cause she's always in the mind. She thought about. She's like, why didn't they just let him keep it? It's like I was always fine with him losing it because you build it up, you have to give it to somebody, right? So I'm the
I
same
will
thing
say for
here.
this,
You
I
know?
haven't seen like even the people who didn't like the finish. I haven't really seen many people saying like it shouldn't have been Gunther. Like I think
Right,
it's
that's what I
different
mean.
than the
Yes,
streak.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's where for me that was the problem with the streak, where people debate should end it or not. But for me, it was always like, did they pick the right guy, right? And for me, I think the idea of, I guess I'm in the camp Cena should have lost and tapped up, but to me, the debate is less because if you're debating, oh, should have he won or lost? To me, it's like, well, it doesn't matter because my hope is the next 5 years shows us that they pick the right guy and it goes the right way, right? And yeah, this is something Gunther can always say now that he retired John Cena, retired Goldberg. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. We went on a different track. That eventually, let's say he retires Jericho and retires Lesnar. What's gonna happen is at some point they can use this as a stip because I always thought, oh, what if he versus someone that's retiring and they win? You don't want that. He can do a match with somebody of like you need to put your career on the line, right?
That'd
And
be like the Randy Orton match, like the Legend Killer versus the Career
no,
Killer or
I think it
something.
would do somebody that would be like a fake out. Like, because to me, that's you can finally have someone beat Gunther when that stip is on the line. Like someone, I guess it could be Randy if he's not done, but that's where to me you should do it with somebody at some point where it's not just, oh, this is marketed as the last match. It's literally, hey, some storyline where, okay, I'll give you another shot at the title, I'll do this, but if you lose, you have to retire. And if you have,
Oh, I get
yeah,
you.
because if you have Gunther with a track record of 3 to 4 people, it's like, oh man, that makes sense for his character to throw that out because that's the same thing. Eventually, someone has to be the not career killer, right? Someone has to beat Gunther at the last match thing, and that's where I think it'd be good. Like the perfect story would be like someone like a Sammy, right? It's not Sammy's name, but someone like that that's an underdog character that like you can have a title match, but if you lose, you gotta retire, and then they win. Like there's lots of stuff you can do there, right? But and that was the other thing too with Brock Lesnar and the whole streak thing. They botched that after the fact because no one really ever got like the the first person to beat Brock Lesnar after the streak was Goldberg, and that to me was I know there's tons of people that try to defend that. That was not defendable to me. Goldberg didn't need that. You could have still done him in Mania. He could have beat Kevin Owens for that title. Like there's so many ways. That was always the thing of like, oh well, Brock's gonna lose the Roman, right? And he didn't until like 5 years later. So, anything else on Gunther or Cena here? Anything else?
I don't think so.
So yeah, we'll see how it does. I hope this leads to Gunther just getting some nice heel heat going forward. Yeah, what do you guys think about? We'll go back to the very beginning of the show. Cody versus Obafemi. Asbubs.
I, w-
Start
yeah,
with you.
I'll say I was really liking the match up to the DQ. I thought it was awesome. I liked seeing Ova, like the crowd was like seriously impressed and like in awe of Ova. Like every time he was throwing Cody back, you could hear the crowd being like whoa, like this guy is something. And
That's what's so funny when Cena's like, "Oh, I want people up there that the crowd may not know, so they can get a shine." It's like not the case with Obafemi. Like
yeah.
everybody's hooing and they're excited to see him. I'm not saying
Yeah,
he
he
shouldn't
was
have been there,
out
but
of the NXT talent. He was the one that like even just off the entrance was already getting a huge reaction. The
yeah,
other ones, their entrance was like just like normal to quiet, and then once they got in the ring, the crowd would really go for it. But Ova, like he was completely like ready from the
yeah.
start there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd say from what we got of the match, I thought it was really great. I thought they had good chemistry from what we saw. I actually did go back and see how exactly like Cody's ear got like hurt. I saw it from a different angle. It was like he went over the desk like perfectly fine, and then the desk is like it's like a right. It has like on the sides. He was like leaning. I think he wanted to lean his head against like one of the sides, and he thought he was like lined up with it, so he just moved his head back, and he was off to the side a little bit, so he just like slammed the back of his ear like into the corner, and that's what did it. And then yeah, there was just the DQ, which is just like, oh, what a waste there.
Yeah. David.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. The ending was predictable. Like I said, I said it in our chat earlier on Discord that I felt like that's how it was going to end. But man, the crowd reaction to Oba coming out, and the fact that he still continued to get a reaction against Cody, like people were still cheering for him. And when that spot where he reaches down and picks Cody up by his throat, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
my
was
man
good
is
because
looking nice and strong and really just really cool spots. They let him have his shine, and there are times where it looks like Cody was giving him everything he could in order to knock this big man off his feet. So again, you got another powerhouse there, another big strong guy. If you want someone to come in and wreck shop, there you go.
Who can cut a
set.
promo too by himself.
Yeah, he's set and he's ready. He's ready for the main roster. So if he drops the title this coming Tuesday and is on the main roster by Friday, I wouldn't be mad at it because he definitely earned it with this one.
Just put him in a fucking 8-way match and have someone else be like, don't even have him take the pin. Like, to me, that's where it's like when the crowd was reacting that way, because I've not seen a bunch of it, but I've seen enough to know that he's ready ring wise to go up. He's got the aura and everything. But when when he came out, his entrance on that big stage was phenomenal. He felt like that turn. Like, I know Rome used to call himself the final boss, but it felt like that, like, or I guess Rock now calls himself the final boss, but it feels like that. It feels like in a video game where it's like, oh fuck, like I got this guy left and he's just coming out, and the way they shoot it when it's like a little bit of the upward angle and he's just looking massive. I was like, this guy, I hope not everyone has that mentality, but I know they do. And Mark Henry said that thing about Javon Evans last week or 2 weeks ago, like, oh, in 15 years he'll be world champ. It's like, what? Like, and that I worry about that. We talk about all the time with the ages and everything. It's like, look at Cena, like talking about Cena retiring. It took him, he got to the main roster in 2003. He got the world title in 2005. Same thing as Dave Batista. Same thing as Brock Lesnar. I know it was a different era, but like, I'm not saying you got to strap up Javon, but like, to me, Oba can just win the Rumble and win a title, and that's fine. We don't need to like have, we got to get him up there and see what he does. Like, even the NXT thing when they do the like, we want to see if they're good at being a heel and a baby face. It's like,
I mean,
no, man, you don't try to do that.
That might kind of be Braun Breaker. Like,
finally,
if he got called up in 2024, then yeah.
Then hopefully
like 2 years.
And that's why I hope that this new crop they are going to do that stuff, right? And with I guess with Braun we're going to see what happens on January, and then I imagine he's still going to win at some point. But they should start doing that a bit more because one, these are younger guys, but two, just like then you just even have more stars in general. You know, it's not like do we want to take the title off Cody? Like, I think Cody will be fine now, and I think. I was happy last night when he got in that ring that it was like got to 50-50, because when Oba was getting that reaction, like, oh man, this crowd's gonna turn. But then when they were doing this Cody Rhodes song, I was like, okay, he's still fine. There's still some people there, because like I'm always waiting for what's gonna happen. But the Drew stuff, I thought it was a great match, but to the point now when they did no clean finish, I wish that Ricky was still champ and they just had Cena or Cody beat Ricky, and that's it. It was great to have Oba with the big showcase, but with this being the DQ finish, and this match I think was really good, and a good, like, this to me would have been a perfect blueprint for Oba winning this match in the world title, you know, and because now when they wrestle second time, it does have to be still different. You can't just completely run this back. So no, I thought it was great up until I've been talking about this for months. I hate this. I'm fine with the DQ finish here and there, but that's why I stopped watching all the weekly TV, because there was so much of the main events where it's like, oh, this is really interesting, big matchup, and it's like, well, DQ, and even then it's like, well, then at least just have Drew DQ, like, interfere, and then Oba gets the win, and Cody can at least kind of say that. But I get it, though. That's the thing. They don't want to make Oba look weak by getting a cheap victory, but then they don't want Oba to lose because, you know, they're not ready for that. So then don't book this match. Don't put Oba somewhere else. Do a tag team match, like anything else. Like, I just don't understand. They are the bookers. It's not real life. They can choose who's going to wrestle these matches. So like, they can choose like, oh, we don't want Oba to lose. We don't want Cody to lose. Well, let's do a tag team match and have Cody pin someone else or Oba pin someone else. You know, it's just, I don't know. So I think I'm with David where, just honestly have Oba impromptu match on Tuesday, lose the title, and just get him up. Like, no more, there's nothing for him to learn in NXT. He's already looking like he's there with the big dogs. And this was like, what I would love is, we saw signs of it last night, what we're talking about with Cena and the streak and Brock Lesnar. Make Oba Cody's Brock Lesnar. Make it that he beats him, and that's the thing that Cody always is trying to beat Oba, and maybe here and there gets a win, but with, I think, because Cena got one win on Brock, I think, when Brock came back. It was the first time, and then after that, Brock beat him every time. And that, to me, like, do the same thing. Maybe have Cody beat him once, but have Oba have his number. I'm always fine with that storyline of, oh, there's one guy you just can't beat. You know, in real life, when I'm in the gauntlet, that's fucking Kirkland Patzer. I beat him once. We had 5 matches after. I never beat that fucker ever again. I just can't beat him. I don't know what it is. It annoys me, but that's just how it is in sports and life sometimes. So, I hope Oba is up there. And also, I guess we could talk about this, because last show we did Survivor Series, and that was the rumor of, oh, they're doing Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. But now there's a rumor it's like, well, they're going to do that, but not at WrestleMania. I guess I'm really confused because Meltzer is the guy that said he said the Mania thing, but now he's, well, it's not happening to me. So like, I really don't know. I guess do we think plans are just are they just up in the air now? Like, and if that's the case, like,
I mean, I don't think like Mania plans are like, well, we've seen from Unreal, like even in like start of January, like late December, the card can just be completely different than what we actually get. Mm-hmm. So I think it's still like, I think someone saw Cody Roman and were like, okay, I need to report that like Cody Roman is in the plans, but like that could be completely different by the time we get to that.
Yeah, it was on the actual chalkboard for WrestleMania 43. That's what Dave got wrong. It's for the Saudi Mania.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, just bad handwriting.
Yeah. So what do we think there's any chance Oba could be up come Rumble time?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think he's dropping the title until Stand and Deliver. I think earliest Raw after Mania.
Oh yeah. Like what? Like I saw some people made this comparison.
I know what the plan is gonna be because they're doing like a 4-way for #1 contender.
Right.
That can just be. I feel like that's a TV match. That'll be. Maybe that's like a Leon Slater that they can like beat on TV. Because then and then I feel like he's gonna fight all the guys who are in that match on the way to Stand and Deliver. Stand and Deliver is gonna be.
We're gonna Oba Joe Hendry match.
I feel like it's gonna happen because in between, so 2026 NXT would have New Year's Evil, which is the first one, then Vengeance Day, which is a PLE, Roadblock, which is a TV special, and then Stand and Deliver. And Oba he does like a TV title defense every once in a while. So I feel like that'll be Leon Slater, Miles Bourne, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox. Dion Lennox is the one that has like the most story because that's like the whole story of Dion Lennox is like heel turn because he used to be just like this like geek kind of guy, and then Oba Femi backstage he was like one day like I'm gonna be challenging you for that title, and Oba was like, no, you're not, you suck, and that made him turn heel and like come back as a villain. So that's like the match that like people joke about it, but like I feel like that's gonna be one of like. Maybe that is just like since they've been talking about it more recently, it's just like
could be the TV one.
Match.
Yeah, that sounds like a good TV one. And plus, one of those could always be like a triple threat or something too. Right?
Yeah.
Like maybe there's a TNA guy in there or something, and they're trying to sign someone else.
Like,
you know?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna give just Leon Slater like the NXT title match. Like,
I'm very curious to see how the AMC deal go because we haven't talked about that since that happened.
This one is like the more like. They've used Leon Slater more than they used Joe Hendry. And
it's fucking crazy. I'm sorry. I am like, to me now, this is way worse than the AEW New Japan partnership. They are just poached. They're literally they're not even waiting for these contracts to expire. They're paying them out like
take that one and I'll take that one and I'll take that one.
This is why I said though I'm gonna fully wait and see for judgment for the AMC deal because for that first episode of AMC, if they load it up with some other big WWE stars, I'm like okay, obviously TNA is not poaching, but if like I can see some more bigger stuff to boost up AMC, then I'll go, okay, then maybe it's worth it. But right now, man, it just feels like they are just having their way with this company. And like, again, get out of here. Anyone saying they're the number 2, no fucking way. No way this is like Leon Slater is just, that's why I asked last night, like he's just a WWE guy now. Like it's just, he is on John Cena's last show. Are you kidding me? Like there are hundreds of, I guess so, yeah, at least dozens of WWE wrestlers on the roster that you could be like, you know what, we want to showcase one of our performers. They're showcasing someone that's not even under contract yet, right? But it's like, it is crazy what is happening. Like, I don't know how this TNA president is letting this go. Like I said, maybe I'll take it back for AMC. Maybe they'll really beef them up, but right now, this is a crazy partnership. This is some, I don't know, some magic going on, so... oh god, we also said something I wanted to say. Oh, so yeah, I guess with Oba, I'm just disappointed because I was hoping, I saw people bring it up there, if you could make this WrestleMania the way like Cena and Batista won on the same night, that'd be great. Imagine that ends WrestleMania 42 and it's Oba, WWE champ, Braun world champ. That's literally your new era right there. If people go, oh, well, they're both heels, well, then have one the women main event like the night and have like the big pop, right? But again, so like if that's the case, so if we don't, because David, do you think Oba's coming up or do you think he's staying in NXT as well?
I don't think he's coming up before the Royal Rumble.
Okay, so if that's the case, if we're still right,
I could see him be in the Rumble. I don't
yes,
think
Yeah.
he'd
That's what I
win.
said. I don't see him before the Royal Rumble, but I
you're
could
right. Yeah,
definitely see
right.
him in the Royal Rumble. I mean, he would get a
Especially,
massive reaction.
Javon
yeah,
eliminates him.
one of these Saudi princes, they're watching Cena's last show and they're
That's
like,
Ahmed
this Ova
Johnson.
guy's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's Ahmed Johnson. We got to get him. With so if that's I guess because in case we don't, we will do an episode. I guess we'll talk further. But like, is what's happening with Braun and Punk? Is Punk just winning this at Netflix? Right, because that did get announced. We talked about this before last episode because I was like, I really don't want to do the thing where Braun loses and then he beats Punk down the line. Is Braun like losing at the Netflix or the first episode of Raw, or is he winning?
The also the other report that came out
Okay.
was that like he was the favorite, like on the whiteboard
Right,
it
he's the
said he
favorite to
was
win the
winning the
Rumble.
Rumble. Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. He's gonna beat Punk and then he's gonna win the Rumble, and we're gonna get Cody and Braun. They're gonna unite the titles again. But yeah, I really hope #plans change. I do not want he beats Punk or he loses to
But at
Punk.
the
He
same
wins
time,
Rumble.
I feel like with this, I feel like this masked man, if he doesn't help Braun win the title, like he just sucks. Like he can't do anything.
Why are
Well,
you here?
He helped him win War Games though. He got
Yeah,
that right. He
but I
helped him
mean,
win War
like-
Games.
Yeah.
I guess I could see them doing some real tomfuckery where.
Takes the mask off and it was Seth the whole
Well,
time.
that's no, maybe not
We
that,
got
but I could see
Austin
it.
Theory body double.
I could see it that the Masked Man cost Braun at Netflix, and that's a big moment where they're both down, and everyone thinks, "Oh, this is how Braun wins the title," and that's how you kind of save Braun from like looking bad because someone screws him. Because I guess we've heard that float around too. That even the ideas if Seth got back, they might do Seth and Braun, right? Like, or even Seth and Roman. So that's where it's like super tough right now. And I guess what I'm trying to get to is if all that's up in the air with Raw, and if Roman and Cody is not happening, what are we doing again with Cody? We've talked about so many times. It's like, if it's gonna be Punk, then we should have Punk lose in Netflix, right? Like he should lose and then win that chamber. But just like, I really have no idea what's going on right now at the world title scene in both kind of like we do, but just like what that Mania match is gonna be, So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, stop doing the DQ finishes on these big shows. Again, to me, that's something where if I'm a newbie and there's this big match and it just ends in like a meh thing, it's like if you watch a football game and it ends in a tie and you're like, oh, like I get it, but like why can't we play another quarter? I feel it feels like that. And on such a big show, I was surprised. But next we got Bailey versus Sol Ruka in another submission of my case of why Bailey's gonna be coming to AEW because man, they're like, oh, we want to do this big, None of the main talent lost except for Bailey. And I'm saying, Pamela, it's time. It's time. I know they're letting John Cena come to your sessions. They're letting the people go there. It's all good. Your contract comes up next year. They're having you. You're the only person that lost to the NXT talent last night. The writing is on the freaking wall. It's time to come over. But this was a really good match. Bailey's a ring general. She can kind of have a good match with anybody. Like I said, I think at the beginning it started like a little clunky, but then it got there. Really loved the last sequence of Soul Snatcher into like Bailey's counter into a victory roll. I thought that was very clever. Even though Bailey kind of no solds the finisher then because she right away just like counters her. But
I'd say I will
think,
give it like a bit of grace because it was like, oh, she was like out of the ring for like
right. Yeah,
and it
no,
was,
you're
like,
right.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
she hit the Soul
Yeah.
Snatcher, and I thought they were gonna do a classic spot
She
where they
rolled
roll
out
out
of
of
the
a
ring,
ring. But she started to do that, and Soul grabbed her. But then it was like, oh, like I need to drag her in. And then
Yeah.
when she dragged her in, she like stood up, and that's when she did. Like
No,
it
you're
wasn't
right.
like
Yeah,
she
no,
like
yeah.
popped up and grabbed her right.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I take that back. I forgot there was some in between there. So no, I thought it was really good. It was kind of weird to have. I get because they're a team, but like Zarya and Lyra there, I thought that something was going to add to it, like just one way or another. And even at the end too, like I don't know. I don't think Bailey's checked out, but when they're just like in their saloon, they do it's just like it was a really weird aftermatch of just like raising arms and just I'm happy you beat me, kid. Like I don't know. That part
The
was
tag
weird.
match,
But
they did the same thing.
did they? Okay, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
at least with the tag match, they looked like they were into it, where Bailey, she just looked like, all right, I got to do this thing now. They told me after the match, I got to do my salute to John Cena. Like, and I do think like she cares about John Cena, but I also think that you could tell that she was very disheveled after the match. Like, all right, you let someone else beat me. I guess now me and my little kid sidekick Lyra over here can go on back to the back now.
Yeah, so we'll
I
see.
also saw that her gear was supposed to be like homage to like the Cena debut.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter too. That was pretty good. But yeah, no, good match. Like I said, I'm just interested to see what happens with Bailey next year. That's where, and again, I think it's time to go. But who knows? Maybe they're just gonna throw a big
classic.
sitcom.
Give her a title right before she
Well,
leaves.
like Chad Gable, right? They gave him that big heel turn and all these promises, and what's he doing now? Obviously got injured, but just like same thing with LA Knight. I legitimately do think that's what's gonna happen. It came out his contract's up in 2027. I'm doing a Trask told you right now. Barring him being injured or real life controversy, I think LA Knight will win the title in 2027. That's their way of like kind of keeping it. And with Bailey, it's just tough because it's like you've done all that stuff, right? She's won the Rumble, she's won the title. I as I said with the War Games, it just felt like she she wasn't in the match, but I just felt like she was non-existent in a lot of this talk of the top tier women. But yeah, did you like the match, S Bubs?
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good. Like you're saying, like at the start it was kind of weird. I feel like Sola's like, she's one of those wrestlers where it's like, it's not like sloppy, but it's like that's kind of the way she is. She just kind of does like she just moves differently than
Takes
other
a minute
people.
to catch up.
I'd
Yeah.
say it's almost like sort of like a not exactly a comparison, but like CM Punk like. It's kind of like the opposite because CM Punk, when people say it's like he's like not athletic at all, but he's
Yeah.
a good wrestler. I feel like sometimes it's like she tries to be like she's so athletic that she tries to go for stuff that like doesn't even like make sense.
Yes. Yeah. At least it wasn't looking like Selena and Rhea on SmackDown. They like
Oh,
made it
yeah.
work there. So, what about you, David?
Again, it was a good match. I would even venture to say that on a match basis alone, it was probably the better of the matches of the night. I feel like once they got their stride, they really had some good chemistry. I will say that the announcers were really bigging up the fact that Sol Ruka came through the NIL deal. Same thing with Obafemi. Like they're really trying to get that out there. Hey, all you talented college athletes, just remember these two people that you just seen, they came up through our next in line deal. So you could be the next one. We found her at Oregon doing tumbling. Who knows what can be in store for
look out.
you? I felt like they kept driving that home that, you know, her collegiate background and them finding her in the short time that they've been in, and now they're on her PLE with John Cena and things like that. But the match itself, no, it was a good match. I thought that they had some great chemistry. It's just, man, I feel bad for poor Bailey because I was hoping that she got a win. I knew it was a long shot, but I was really just hoping that they would give her something, especially on a big stage like this.
Yeah. So, well, at least you got to be on the stage, I guess, right? You get to be a part of that show if it's watched back. So,
Yeah.
you had the tag team match, which I kind of said I don't have too many more thoughts on. I enjoyed it. I just thought it was a lot short. I thought it was gonna be they're gonna let them go a bit more crazy. I was thinking like a 15 to 18 minute, and the last 5 minutes was gonna be completely crazy and kind of. I don't know if they didn't want that because they maybe didn't want to burn out the crowd. If that's the case, I would have swapped them and the ladies. Not to do that just because Bailey and Sol Ruka was wrestled in a different way at the start. But even then, it doesn't matter. They don't burn out the crowd because they have a bunch of segments, and they have. I forgot to mention that another reason why I hated this show: the stupid Miz, R-Truth, Joe Henry thing. It's just like I thought they were setting up for something really big of Cena's past. I'm not saying Edge. I'm not being one of those fans like, oh, Adam Copeland's gonna be here. No, but just. Oh man, but yeah, I was just surprised. I thought this match was going to be a bit longer and a bit more crazier, but was still a fun match.
Yeah. I agree exactly with you said. It was 6.5 minutes was this match. 6.5 minutes.
Louise. My God.
I did feel a little bit bad for Javon and Leon Slater after seeing that it was 6.5 minutes because I wish they would have gotten a little bit more time. Other than that, it was a good match. And I will say that between the three matches preceding the Gunther John Cena match, it does make me want to pay a little bit more attention to NXT after watching all three of these matches. So in that right, they got me to start thinking, okay, I need to do more than just get S-Bob's updates on Tuesday nights via Discord of how NXT's doing.
Yeah. Well, and that's what they do want, right? They want you, and that's a good thing. Like I think we talked about this before, and I suppose was completely right on his predictions as far as who would be there, but they picked the right town as well to be selected and highlighted. Between I think with Sol Ruka, doesn't matter what people feel about her finish or the way she works. It's like she has like close to that like what people talk about with Jey Uso or Jeff Hardy, where there's just like a likable quality that you just can't teach to somebody, right? Oba has whatever we talked about, and then Javon and Leon Slater, the future WWE stars, just like they have they have certain talents and skills that are very good. I'm sure there's, of course, there's tons of other people in NXT that are great, well too, but I can see why they selected some of them. But yeah, Spubs, any thoughts on this one?
Uh, the tag match. No, I pretty much talked about it already. I
Yeah.
just thought, yeah, it was. They did all their spots as fast as possible, but I thought it was still a fun match. And like you said, in terms of people I pick, I'd say like for what WWE wants in like the wrestlers, I thought it made like that's why I went with these. Like I feel like they all have like that like the it factor. I'd say
Yes,
like the marketability. Like
absolutely.
it's like yeah, they have like Obafemi and Sol Ruka, like they have unique looks, and like Javon and Leon, like they have well even like Triple H, like on the post show he was talking about like they asked him about Javon and Leon, and he was saying something like there's a lot of guys who have like they have what do you say, it's like there's a lot of guys who have like that sort of like extreme athleticism and can
Yeah,
do all the spots
flippy
and stuff.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but then they have no personality. But these guys have all the ability and all the personality. So,
Yeah.
and some people are like, oh, he's taking shots at Ricochet, but I
I,
don't know.
I don't think that's the case, but like honestly, if Triple H is there, if there's a scenario where you look in his head and Shawn Cena's last match, he's like, I gotta take some shots at Ricochet. It's just like, then we are in trouble. If that's what, like really, especially because like I feel like in AEW he has shown like some of his best stuff has when he was like that kind of psycho nerd thing, right? I feel like Ricochet's regressed again with this group. I think this group's actually done no favors for Ricochet. I think it's gonna give him a clutch. But before when he was doing like he's wearing a sweater vest and the glasses, but then he's murdering someone with scissors. It's like, yeah, that's a fun, different type of gimmick. Now he's just like classic chicken shit heel guy. But yeah, if Triple H was honestly thinking that on last night, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble,
I was gonna say, I think he's in the Diamond Ring
He
Battle
is.
Royal, and so Shelton's gonna eliminate him, and this feud's gonna continue.
Fucking hell, man. We'll get there. Yeah, anything else? I'm trying to think. We had yeah, okay, so for the tag team, so yeah, Aspeps, you're still convinced Jay heel turn's coming and they're not getting those tag
I
titles?
think the way
hope
they're
you're
doing
wrong,
it, because they're doing like when they like reunited, it was
Yeah.
like they came out to just Jay's music, and
Yeah.
Jay wasn't saying anything. Like Jay was just quiet while Jimmy was like, Jay, like he's lost to LA Knight, he's lost to Gunther, he's lost to everybody, and Jay wasn't like saying anything. And then his only response was like, yeah, I just decided, I needed my brother, and we're gonna win those titles. So I feel like they're gonna beat the New Day. They're gonna go for the
Okay.
titles. Like they're gonna lose, and then he's gonna like shoot chair shot Jimmy Uso and turn heel.
shoot Jay or I would love it. I don't think they do this. One of my favorite heel turns of all time is the second Shield breakup when Seth and Dean won the titles, and then
yeah.
right after they won the titles, Ambrose turned on him. I would love them to do that, where Jay wins it. And then, like, kind of even says, like, oh, you like more like Jimmy, you need me. See, like, we're the reason we won these titles, but I don't really need to do that. And like, doesn't matter because like AJ and Dragon Lee, like, they're not gonna be a long term tag team. So I would love that. Just the Jey Uso heel turn thing scares me because like
I'm
I
not saying
know
it like they're gonna do like the no DQ Jimmy versus Jay at Mania. I
no,
can see it.
we can't. The most you should
Especially
do then.
since they both said that like they know the match was bad last time. I feel like they're gonna want like they want to redeem it.
How much power does the Samoan dynasty have then? You don't like you can redeem it on like a backlash, but not at WrestleMania. I just because like at the same time, I know everyone's celebrating when people are putting those tweets of like the singles run is over, like all these memes, but it's just like majority of the mainstream audience still like has a good time with Jey Uso. It goes back and forth, but they're still yeeting. They're still doing the stuff. Like they don't care the same way we do. So it's just, and I don't think Jay's. Maybe who knows? Because Naomi, that was a surprise. But I just
You
I
know,
just
I can
don't know.
see it now at Mania. He kills Jimmy and he goes off on his paternity leave there.
Well, I could see it before because I still think. Remember they did that goddamn tribal hair trademark. I still, if he turns heel, I do not think Roman versus Jay is off the table. I think there's a good chance that that happens with Jimmy like making the save or like doing something like that. Like which I don't think is as much as like Roman and Cody scares me. Roman and Jay, heel Jay. I don't know how that that sounds
Jay
like
put in the headlocks on
yeah,
Roman.
that sounds like a scary WrestleMania matchup to me. That has I cannot wait to listen to Meltzer's review of that match if that match happens. And and I wonder like what Jay's heel entrance is, but
Well, Meltzer loves Jay. He'd give that a high
he
rating.
does love him for some reason. But like I wonder, but okay, so I'm gonna just to be positive say no. I'm gonna say they win the titles and they're just happy. Maybe they break the up down the line. What do you think's happening with the tag titles, David? Are the Usos just winning this right away? Do you think there's some chicanery and they're going to be a heel turn? What do you think's happening?
I don't think they're going to turn Jay heel just yet because there's still so much money within his shirts and his entrance and everything else. So,
Sure.
but I do think that they're going to be winning the tag team titles pretty soon.
Yeah, I'll say I want it to be them just winning it and them facing like I don't know, like the Lucha Bros at Mania, but I feel like it's gonna be the Jay turn.
The Luch. Oh yeah, that'd be. I didn't even think about that. The brothers versus brothers tag team. Yeah, yeah. There's something there, or they just do a schmoz where there's like four of them and everything. So, we'll see. Is there anything WWE related wise we haven't talked about, like big storylines, something we've missed out on?
Uh,
We already
I
talked
just like
about
the
Punk
LA
and Braun.
Knight getting taken out. People think he's been fired by Triple H personally.
That was weird. That was a weird. I don't. That was an odd, odd scenario of people thinking that. But yeah, I guess LNH is doing his thing.
I feel like he like returns in the Rumble. I feel like they do this every year where someone gets like taken out and then they come back in the Rumble.
And then maybe even lead up to like
And I think he
Braun
has
and
like
him
the
at Mania.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he has like the most matches worked out of anyone. So
He
this
does.
could just be like he gets his Christmas break here
Yeah,
until the Rumble.
because I listened to a Cena episode where he said like the most matches this year was LA Knight was 77. He's like, I used to be wrestling like 256. So, it is crazy that way. But yeah, we'll
And
see.
I guess like the well, we don't really know if we're gonna have a show before the 5th, I guess, or I guess not. But I guess
Well, I think we'll have a. I think we probably have a because like yeah, even if it's that weekend, yeah, I guess it's not 100% confirmed. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
so like, I'll say the other big thing is like the whole women's tag titles thing, where like now there's like every single team in there.
right. They've not officially made any matches though, right?
No, they
No.
sort of just been having like singles matches between different people involved in all the teams, which still makes me wonder because right now there'd be, I think, 6 teams. So it'd be Rhea and Io, Charlotte and Alexa, Bailey and Lyra, Roxanne and Liv,
Mhm.
the Kabuki Warriors, Lash and Naya. I think that's everyone who's involved in it so far. So I'm wondering, like, is it just gonna be like a massive? I guess that'd be like the 6-pack challenge TLC match.
Yeah.
It's like one option, or do you do something else like a gauntlet or
Tag
something
Team
like that?
Turmoil used to be,
Yeah.
which is a gauntlet one by one. Yeah, I would love it. Obviously, what I would love them to do is do some sort of screwy finish where the titles get vacated and then do like a big tournament. I know we've just did the Cena tournament, but I would love it if you could do that. But at the same time, I think your theory when you said like whether it's some sort of multi-woman TLC or something, that makes sense. I'm just trying to think about where they place it. Do they think that's on the first Netflix or do they put that on SmackDown? Because SmackDown is going to 3 hours now, right? Beginning January. So
Yeah.
I think you should probably do on SmackDown where you give them the main event and then just make like the last hour, with entrances. Yeah, with the entrances, celebration, the last hour, that thing. And because I think too, that'll signify as far as what are we doing with everybody, right? What are we doing with Charlotte and Alexa? What are we doing with Rio and Io? Because like I feel with like Rhea and Io, it's if they pull the trigger and give them the titles, I honestly think they might have them till Mania. They might just run with that for a little bit. So that's where it's like with this match will tell us a lot what's going on. I think Lash and Nia are good to be like a tag team for a little bit. But same thing with Charlotte. Is she just going to be a tag team person again at Mania, or they don't want to get her ready for WrestleMania? What is going? Because she lost. Is Tiffany like hurt, or is she just time off right now?
She's just time off. She was
Okay.
like all off all social media until like a few days ago, and
Oh, I
she's
saw.
like, yeah.
Everyone's talking about who her new guy is and everything like that.
But I think
People
she's also
love the
in
drama.
Saudi Arabia too, with
Yeah.
like
Right.
Randy and Liv and a bunch of other people. Omos is there, I believe.
Yeah. He is. I saw him behind. I'm like, what's Omos doing there?
Yeah, so I feel like she'll come back. Um, I feel like she might just come back whenever Jade has her next title defense.
What a fucking just loop they've been in on the SmackDown women's. They've been in this loop since like the week after WrestleMania. It's kind of crazy. So
And the whole thing with Meechin, Corey Graves just like buried her on commentary after it's like they had a segment where like because it was supposed to be like Jade versus Meechin,
mhm.
we're gonna have a match on SmackDown like non-title, and Meechin is like in Gorilla about to make her entrance and she's like cutting a promo, and Jade just like attacks her from behind and then walks out and it's like I forget but she said like, "Oh, I don't need to fight Michin anymore." And then Michin came out with like a kendo stick, started hitting her, but then Jade just like gets the upper hand again, choke slams her, and walks away. And Corey Graves was like, "I don't think we're ever gonna see Michin challenging for the title again."
Oh man,
Which is
that's
weird. Like
brutal.
I'm sure they probably still will do it because like they're going
they
that
definitely
way.
will do like
Yeah.
the no DQ match, especially since they had like Michin was like about to get a table and like Jade threw it away and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Well, and even then, they've been with Jay. They're just trying to figure stuff out because wasn't it a couple weeks ago they just had her like beat up Chelsea Green for
all
whatever
her matches
reason?
have just she beat up Chelsea Green. Then she had a match she just like squashed like Alva Fire in like 2 minutes. She had another like BFAB. She just like squashed BFAB.
Yeah.
So
It's so funny that because I remember I think it was PW Insider because I think they were the ones who confirmed the 3 hours, and then the same report it's like WWE knows that there's some issues with SmackDown and they're working to beef it up. I feel like I've seen this same report 3 other times this year of like they know SmackDown's an issue. It's like then fucking fix the issue. I don't care if Road Dogg's your boy or whatever. Like bring in new writers, send him to NXT. Like if you know it's an issue for this long, it's like why is it still an issue? Like we're getting close to
Yeah.
Mania season. Like you got last year's build was kind of meh enough. Like start getting that going, get it to because like the last few times I've watched SmackDown, I'm like, man, this show is very tough. The last time I watched was when they did that stupid Cody and Drew DQ finish. We didn't talk about that out now. It's like because I'm not watching weekly, and that's what you told me before, and then we talk about Drew. But it's just like, so what? Are we gonna do Cody and Drew whether it's the first SmackDown of the year or at Rumble, and Cody's just gonna beat him again? It's like. Man, like at least with the Jay and Tiffany thing, it's like their first match ends in DQ. Tiffany wins the first one, Jade wins the next one. So like technically there is a story of it's kind of like the rubber match, right? That okay, they're both tied, one, what's gonna happen? With Drew, it's like 0-4. Like what what's this like and I guess the story was what last and didn't Drew get like a 3 count or something when the ref was down, right? They did that at Saturday Night's Main Event. So I think that's
so,
gonna be the
yeah.
story of like oh man, but then they also just had him geek out to fucking Drew, like or Oba, like, and that's fine. Oba's top shit, but just like they use him in just such a like, let's just make Oba look strong. Like I love McIntyre, but they've done like I have no interest in Cody and him again, other than Drew winning. That's the only way is like Drew has to win. But I feel like we've said that like the last 2 times, and he don't win. He doesn't win. He just like Cody finds a way to prevail. You know. I don't know.
I will say the only other good story on SmackDown right now is the Ilya stuff because
I want to watch that Ciampa match. I've heard great things about
the
it.
Ciampa
Yeah.
match was
Really
really
good.
good. And Ilya, like I used to say, he hadn't done it much in this run, but before, like in his previous, before he got injured, I used to say he would bleed in every single match, but like busted, like he wouldn't bleed, like he'd get busted
Yeah,
open
hard
every
way.
single match, yeah.
Yeah.
And this one was like, this is probably one of his most like it looked like he broke his nose or something because he was bleeding like crazy in this match. But the matches have been really good. They've kind of like they call it the open challenge, but it's not really been an open challenge anymore. It's more like he's just defending the title every
Yeah.
week, but it's like it's not like he waits in the ring and someone random comes out. It's like they've been doing storylines with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this person wants a title shot, so they talk to Nick Aldis and Ilya's defending this week. But
Yeah. I'm
it
glad the
seems
Ciampa
like
thing
this-
paid off because it was like I didn't
Yeah, they
dislike
built
the
it up for
build,
so
but
long,
yeah, it was a
yeah.
weird like for Dragunov being like, I'll take on all comers, and he was always like, but not you. It was an odd story, but like I am excited to watch the match because I'm a big Ciampa fan from the old NXT days. He was a great heel, and yeah, I've heard nothing but great things. So that's cool.
But
So
I'll say the story now, it seems like it might actually happen that Carmelo Hayes wins this U.S. title because
really,
the whole thing with Ciampa is last week Ilya defended against Melo, and Melo was like about to win, and Ciampa like threw him off the ring post, and like then but Ilya didn't see, so then he hit his
oh
finisher and
yeah,
won, and then he was mad that like Ciampa like Melo lost like unfairly. So then he
okay.
finally did the match against Ciampa. DIY and Candice come out there at the end after he beat Ciampa, and they start beating him up. Mello comes out to the save to like a mega pop, just
I
like
heard,
just the
yeah,
theme
that
song,
I saw,
and
yeah.
they're chanting for Mello, and he's like, you know, he takes out DIY on his own, and then you know he helps up Ilya. So I feel like they're gonna do like him and Ilya against DIY, and they probably beat DIY there. And then it seems I could see this being first SmackDown of the year of doing Ilya versus Mello for the U.S. title again, with Mello winning.
Do you think they're gonna do that? They're like babyface, and Melo's just gonna beat him. That's my only thing. Is
I
like,
mean, they already did the match before of babyface versus babyface.
but I get, but he didn't beat him, right? Like I know he like beat Sam, and
Well,
that's
in that
babyface
one,
and
like
babyface.
Ciampa
But
cost him, and like Ilya hit his finisher and like pinned him, and the crowd was like booing Ilya that Mello lost.
yeah, okay.
And I think this would be their fit, and they have like if you count their
NXT
NXT
history,
matches, I
yeah.
think they'd be tied because I think it's like Mello, like I think Mello retained once, Ilya beat him, Ilya retained over him, then retained the U.S. title. So then if Mello beats him for the U.S. title, they'd be tied.
Okay, I hope so. I hope that happens. Just because the booking has been with him, I'm gonna say it's not gonna happen. I say what they're gonna do though is I think they're gonna wait and see if the pops and stuff sustain, like the caring for. So what I bet is they're gonna give Mello a great match with Ilya, but he's still gonna lose. But then we'll see because I could also see the U.S. title. I wonder at WrestleMania if he gets a one-on-one match or if that's like a 4-6 way type of match with Ilya and stuff. And that's where it's like I could see Mello maybe getting it, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We're getting into Rumble season now. We're getting. Do you have any draft updates, Spubs, or have you not done
Yeah,
that?
I
Okay.
did them. I did them.
Sure. Yeah. Give us
I
that,
can
and then we'll
bring up
transition
the
to
points
AEW
here.
after that.
Okay.
Because we only got 2 matches for Old Zen right now. So 3, I guess. But
So David has 572 points.
mhm.
Travis has 871 points, and I have 827 points.
Okay, so I just need Jericho not to come back. Tony Khan, I need you to give that big contract
You
to
call up Carlos Silva, tell him to use that AFC money to
Yeah,
get Jericho.
exactly.
But even then, I feel like he'd still show up in the Rumble.
he would. Yeah, that's why I don't want that. I want him in AEW now, just for this point. But yeah, speaking of that, like I said, we don't have much. We have what we talked about the last 2 episodes, which we kind of thought, and it's right now currently the main event. I'm assuming is Joe versus Swerve versus Hangman. Now the Diamond Ring thing, is that happening this Wednesday or is it next Wednesday?
I think this Wednesday.
This Wednesday. So, and I can't remember because it's dumb rules, but MJF doesn't have to. He's supposed to be in the Battle Royal, right? I think.
No, I don't
He's
think
just
so.
the defending.
I think what they did this year is like I believe what they said is like they have the battle royal to get like the shot at the ring, and now
Okay.
it's also for a title shot.
Right.
But then I think they also mentioned something. It's like, oh, we don't know where MJF is, so if he doesn't show up, then they get the ring or something like that.
Okay, because yeah, there was I think the second year they did it that he was in the Battle Royal again. It was the last 2 that did it, but I think they've changed that. So I guess we'll see in the coming weeks. But I'm sure MJF's coming back. I'm sure.
Yeah, because
What's
especially
happening.
since the thing
Yeah.
needs to be that he needs to cash in 1 week in advance.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna show up to his contract signing and cash in.
For a second, maybe I was delusional. I really actually enjoyed the match. For a second, I thought they were gonna have Eddie beat Joe because I always thought Eddie Kingston, the world title run he would get would be like a month, a couple weeks, and I thought, man, imagine that heel heat of Eddie winning. Next week he gives his victory speech and MJF just beats him for it. Because then I was like, oh, I can see the vision. I can see like why they want to do this. I still don't see the vision of this match of Joe, Swerve, and Hangman and MJF. Don't get me wrong. I think the actual match will be good. I just don't. I guess I don't see the vision of MJF wins. You know, if he loses, then we'll talk about. But if he wins, I always say, okay, well, you just should have kept it on Hangman for that time. It would. You could still do the same storyline in him versus different ops people, everything like that. Obviously, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, well,
Joe will. I've been memeing about like MJF just winning it right away, but I feel like he'll lose here, but with the diamond ring gimmick, he'll get another title shot.
God, I kind of love, like, I want this. It's not the same way because they did the whole week thing. I've always wanted this to happen. I think I've pitched this before where I want a Money in the Bank winner to get a number one contenders match, have the match, and it go super close and they lose it, but then they attack the person after the match and cash in right there. I've always wanted that, and I wish they could have done that with the cash in where, let's say he wins the diamond ring thing, he gets the shot, he loses to Joe or in the four-way, but then after cheats away to do it. No one's done that yet. I'm waiting for someone to do that.
That's what I thought they were going to do in like the Forbidden Door match, because that was before they changed the rules. Like,
yes,
I thought Hangman was going to beat him, and then like the heel heat would have been like he cashed in right away.
Yeah, because that to me is like a great way of like, or even if imagine you get the number one contenders match and you just start that match off with like a low blow, you just beat the shit out of the guy and then you cash in right after. Like, such like a good heely way of like, oh, I was never gonna wrestle that match. I was just gonna use it to like take advantage and take you out. But Dave, what do you think's happening here at again, MJF not confirmed, but that looks to be the thing at World's End, this four-way. Is MJF just taking it? Is there a swerve in there?
I think MJF comes back, but I'm not sure if MJF takes it. I think that this could be a chance that you could put the title back on Swerve for a bit, because I mean he was rocking and rolling for a while before injuries started to derail him, and I know how much TK absolutely loves him, so this could be a chance to put it back on him.
Oh yeah, he's one of those like the people talk about like Fed soldiers. Like he's a dub soldier. He's because if people don't remember, him and Adam Cole were the two people that supposedly WWE tried to like contract tamper with, and they both went to Tony and were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I guarantee there's some people that didn't go to Tony and were like just kept it quiet. But Swerve was one of those people that went like, "Hey, they're trying to like get me out of this contract right now." And obviously Swerve signed that big 5-year deal too, right? So like he's a guy like more than MJF, you know, that Swerve's around. I wouldn't mind it because like they still have not done the Swerve MJF like full storyline. I think there's lots of meat on that bone with those two. It's just a question. And I think also for them, it's kind of like what we've talked about with Seth and everything. I think with their next 6 to 8 months plans, it's all about like what's happening with Ospreay, right? Because if he is good to go for All In, then like clearly that's the plan, right? It's probably MJF versus Ospreay, heel babyface. Ospreay gets a big win. But if he's not cleared, that completely changes to me what All In would be, especially they're back in London. So it's like I don't know what the plan could be, and they probably know better about Ospreay's condition than us, clearly. So yeah, we'll have to see. And then on the
also
women's,
Ospreay, because I think he had like neck surgery, right? So with
Yes.
that, it's like you really never know how long that could take.
Yeah, it was a bigger one too. So and then on the women's side right now, I kind of missed this match was confirmed.
That's juice for you right there.
I've not watched Collision, but this is the juice. This is Chris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter. I did pitch this a couple episodes ago. I pitched it though as Hayter turning on Statlander, so I
can see this being the female Hangman versus Joe, where they do a few of these with Jamie turning heel.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen, because like I don't know. Because if Statlander, I guess they are doing like I guess you could do Statlander beats her and then just do another babyface for Statlander, but I do think you could do, and I think that's what's gonna happen. Statlander's gonna win. Hayter turns on her, whether it's the show after or right after the match. I think Hayter as a heel probably should go down too, because if people forget, like that's how she started to get over the crowd, is her being a heel, and then they just flipped her because it's like, well, people just enjoy her, right? So I just think like Hayter's a babyface has just been kind of flowing around. I think there's too many like eccentric characters right now with Mina and Tony and Chris and Willow, which we'll talk about. So I'm kind of hoping, or I just would like the Jamie cheats to win, and that's how you get the heel turn, because I'd love her to get some juice. But I think this match is going to be really, really good. But I see Statlander winning it, because I feel like Tony's been talking about Statlander as like a pillar for AEW lately. Of just anytime they're just like, who do you see leading the future? He's like, oh, well, Chris Statlander. It's like, well, that doesn't count. She's like, she's the present. Like, I hate when he answers. Last time someone asked, like, who do you see as the future of that? He's like, well, I think it's like Ospreay, Swerve, and Chris Statlander. It's like, All right, cool. Like Osprey, you're gonna give the crown to, which I get, that's fine. But like Statlander's already the champ. Like I guess you call it the future, but like I think people when they ask that question are kind of asking like, hey, who's wrestling in the dark match on Collision? Do you think could be the future? But he
Yeah.
always just goes with the people that are the top people right now. So, which they are apparently bring back After Dark for AW
One night
Dark for
only.
one night only.
Yeah.
So good job for the
I
stickers
saw
there.
the card there, and it's just like very. It's just like one pretty top star against just like
That's all that Dark ever was. Dark would
random
always
UK
Yeah.
people.
Dark would randomly have like one good like top match, and I guess people liked that. I guess because they did have like there is stuff where like they had a match where it's like Harley Cameron versus Willow Nightingale like on Dark like 3 years ago when Harley was nothing, right? Because the people have shown that. So like it is like a fun origin story, but that's where it's like I don't have time
People
for
always
this.
feel like there's so many people that you can find like their AEW Dark debut. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a bunch of NXT people who wrestled like one match on Dark and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the big draw for this Dark like is like I think it's like all the male Death Riders against a bunch of like UK indie guys. Or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that.
of course, yeah, that'll be fun for that crowd. But David, how do you see Statler and Hater going?
I think Statlander wins, but it's going to be the continued slow devolving of her and Hater, and eventually you're going to get it going from friendly rivalry to all out warfare.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
that's going to be the big battle for a while.
I'm down because I also think for me, Hater works just very well as a heel. So we'll see how that happens. And then obviously we got semifinal number 1 and number 2 for the. I'm not like the way they put this semifinal number 1 winner versus semifinal number 2 winner, and that's Gold League winner versus Blue League. Oh, so we're getting 3. I see what it is. Okay, so that's right. They're doing the 3 matches again, 2 semifinals and then the finals. David, what have you thought about the C2? I think I've of the matches I've happened. I think I've watched 75%. I've not seen the latest Collision, which was obviously yesterday. I've seen about 75% of those. What do you think about? Do you got any standouts right now or anything?
I've been loving what they've been doing with Claudio in there, but you can't discount Takeshita at any time. I know how much they love Takeshita, and so this would be a good time to build up him, continue to build up Okada. But man, I've been loving the shine that they've been giving to Claudio.
Yeah, I think for me, Claudio, that's been good stuff. I'm interested to see what happens after the fact. I think my favorite because I have a ranking on Dropkick. I think my favorite was I think it might have been the Okada Fletcher match up until this week. Mike Bailey and Fletcher had a phenomenal match.
I
It
still
was
need to watch that one. I
it
need to
was
watch
crazy good, and that's what I was gonna say is the person that obviously I love that they gave Knight that Darby win. That's what's needed. And it sucks crazy. We didn't talk about this on air yet. Crazy that all the shit Darby does and just a coast to coast taking him out. Like I said in the Discord, that Seth, we maybe got to ban the coast to coast. We're
Yeah.
2 top stars are going out. Just have Shane do it. But that was
That's why
big, and I like.
That's why you need Javon's coast to coast, where it looks cool, but he doesn't touch anyone with it.
Exactly. That's what you need, right? And I can't remember what was the other. Oh, right, when Fletcher got that win. But yeah, they gave Bailey the win over Fletcher here, and that's where Knight they're giving the showcase. I think with some of the bigger moments matches, but Bailey. He had a match. I think his first round match was against Pac, which was great because the last 2 minutes of the match, or maybe 3, I'll say to the finish. Actually, it was just about who could kick each other hard enough, and they did this thing where they're kicking each other, and then they were both in the ring, and they both decided to back up, and they bounced on the ropes, and they did like a whatever Drew's like what's his finish again?
Like a
The-
claymore.
Yeah, Claymore. Yeah, they did like that, and they were both down and out, and they were down. The rest checking on everything like that, and they roll outside the ring, and they both see each other from across the ring on the other side, and they decide to run around the ring and do it again on the outside. It was just great. They just decided like, okay, let's see who could kick each other more. It was just such a I love when matches decide like this is gonna be our gimmick. We're gonna make it that we're using the same move. Who can do it better? And Pac got the win. Pac's look good too, but Bailey is like, and I like Bailey, but I haven't seen much of his TNA stuff. I've just heard about him a lot. And I liked that triple threat he did with Omega and Ricochet. But like, I think his run in AEW has been good, But this tournament, I think, is really doing some stuff for him. But him and Fletcher, yeah, it was like a work rate main event level like type of pay per view match. It was outstanding. And like, so for me, I think Bailey's like, he might be coming out of this tournament the wrestling star. But I know he is a good wrestler, but he's
And I
putting
don't know
on
if
some really good stuff.
I don't know
So
if you saw, but Bailey also they did Bailey versus Kevin Knight, and
yes, last
Bailey
night,
won.
right?
Yeah,
Bailey, oh really? So I guess that's probably why they gave Knight that big Derby win because Knight lost to Fletcher, which was a good match, and then he lost to or no, did he not lose to Fletcher? Oh my god, I'm behind because on my
I think he
C2
did. I think he did
I thought he
lose
did,
to
yeah. Like I said, on my
Fletcher.
dropkick, I'm trying to have them ranked, so then at the end of this, I can remember it. But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I still think it's gonna be Takeshita and Okada. Oh man, and Takeshita had another good one too. Shit, it was on the second, whatever his second match was. He had a really good one, but yeah, they're having some. Oh, it was him and Roddy. Him and Roddy get because Roddy I think is gonna be the guy who gets no wins this tournament. There's always one. I think one year was Jay Lethal. I think Roddy because I think we all know that was supposed to be Kyle O'Reilly probably, but Roddy and
Yeah.
Takeshita had this really good match as well too of just kind of like they're not powerhouses, but like low key, like Roddy's pretty built and Takesha's just a big guy. So no, there's been some good ones, and I like that there's a lot of like that. Fletcher, I thought, oh, they could make him go undefeated. He loses to Bailey randomly. I think this is one of the better years of the finishes aren't right now 100% of what's gonna happen. And actually too, another good one was Pac and Okada because they wrestled it in a purely heel versus heel type way. Same with me as Fletcher and Okada. They had a moment where Okada was going to do, or Fletcher was on the top rope, Okada was down, and he pushed the ref in the ropes. And then 5 minutes later, Fletcher did the same thing of copying him. So I've liked a lot of the heel versus heel matches because I think that they are. I like when they try to out cheat each other. But okay, so if we got to pick the four, who do we think the four? Because I think it's Fletcher, Okada, and Takeshita, and I don't know who the fourth one's gonna be though. It gets semifinals for World's End. That's where I'm tough on. I feel like it has to be like another baby face if it's those three. But unless you guys think it's somebody else, that's why I'm throwing it out there. Who do you guys think will be the top four when we get to World's End?
I'm the same as you.
So who's your fourth though? Because I don't have a fourth yet. I'm screwed.
I mean, my initial thought was like either Mox or Claudio would make it to the end.
Right.
I feel like you could
I
play
think
Mox
Claudio.
as a face if you wanted to.
It's already starting. It's already
Yeah.
you can feel that vibe already. I'm ready. 16-time AEW World Champion. Let's go. Like what a story for Mox in 2025. To be the most hated man to like now crowds popping for him, everything like that, and people think he's killing TV. But because that would be if you have Okada, Takeshita, Fletcher, and Moxley, technically that is all four heels, right? Which. Right, I guess this isn't for a title, so it doesn't even like it's for a title. It's not for MJ. It's not. I meant for like fight MJF, right? Like if
Oh,
he's the
yeah.
champion.
Yeah.
So right, it is right.
It's for
But-
your own, like, they're in your own universe
Yeah,
title.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Moxley.
See, I have Claudio, Takeshita,
Claudio.
Fletcher, Okada.
Okay, who could I pick just to be different? I'm gonna.
Bailey. You could
I
get Bailey
think that's what I'm
over.
gonna go. I think they're gonna make Bailey the underdog because what is it? It's Gold League winner versus Blue League winner. So I'm trying to think who
Yeah.
he could verse.
I mean, I feel like unless you do the gimmick of Okada finally just, like, loses the title by not making the finals.
Yeah, I if they do that, I'm not gonna do a full rant, but like I'll definitely bitch and moan a bit on the next episode of of the gimmick because like to me it's just like have them lose it. Don't do like I still think the final should just be Okada Takeshita. Takeshita gets the big victory and then he beats the big tournament winner guy. But I'm trying to find I can find every fucking year, but this year Google Images is just screwing me over.
Or are you looking just for, like, all the people in it?
Yeah. Okay. So because I was just trying to find out like what the finals. So if Bailey were to get there, so it'd either be Moxley or Takeshita. I'm just trying to see what would be the better pairing for the two of them. I feel like if it's Okada and Moxley, that's a dangerous. I don't know what type of match. I will say Okada has been actually. He's not been sleeping this tournament. He's actually putting the work. It's like when it's a tournament, he locks back into New Japan side. It's like, oh, it's a tournament, you tell me. But like,
Tournament mode activated.
yeah, I'm just trying to think who would be better because you can't do Okada. So yeah, honestly, if it was the finals, you'd probably if it got to those ones, you'd have to do Okada and probably Moxley, and then Takeshita and Bailey, and then because I think Takeshita and Bailey would be tons of fun, and then
Takeshita and Bailey would make sense, especially since they're they're the ones that were like friends in the Don Callis family. Or Bailey?
Takeshita
No, I was confused. For some reason, I thought you said like I was thinking Kyle
Fletcher.
Fletcher. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I guess and that's what you could do also, right? You could do and Fletcher. Yeah, it's tough for me. Like, I'm being like I'm trying to be devil's advocate, but I do really think it's just Takeshita Moxley or Claudia. I guess that's what I like. I think we just know
There's a
Takeshita and
lot of
Okada.
options.
Yeah, I think we just know Takeshita and Okada at least are two of those slots.
Those are locked. I feel
Yeah,
like.
I think those are locked, so we'll have
Yeah.
to see what happens there. But yeah, even Dorada, like they gave him a win, like he beat Claudio, and that's what I like is Claudio gets big wins, right? They make him beat Darby, they make him beat Boxley, and then he loses to the guy that's easily ranked last in this tournament as far as importance. But that's why it doesn't hurt Claudio because like, well, he just beat two main eventers and he can lose to Dorada.
It makes sense too, since since just for the like CMLL guy beat the guy with the title, since
Yeah.
Claudio has it.
And you can
And
run
I think
that back
they're doing
later,
that
right?
match on. I'm pretty sure they announced it or for like a CMLL show, like Claudio
Perfect.
versus him for the title.
And then if Claudio wins, he gets his win back there, right?
Yeah.
Which again, like,
Yeah.
why isn't Claudio walking out with that title?
I
Bugs me
think
a
he
bunch.
is.
I at least saw one show he didn't. There was one. I think the match with Moxley he didn't, and it bugged me. Same way as like Joe.
I've definitely seen a clip of him walking
Okay.
out with the title.
Okay, so maybe once. Just
Yeah.
the same way as like when Joe walked out for his title match, no trios title in sight. He had it the next time, but it's like these titles. But
I can read you guys the card for this week's Dynamite. If
yeah,
you
sure.
want.
What is it?
And it's a 3-hour special as well, because that's
Oh,
what
is
they're
it?
doing now
Okay.
with the every time it's before a pay-per-view, since they don't have Collision, they add the extra hour to Dynamite.
Right,
So
right.
there's a Continental Classic match. You have Fletcher versus Pac.
Oh, that's gonna be good because Pac, I like the work he's doing. Okay, so that's gonna be a good one.
Then another classic match. You have Dorada versus Orange Cassidy.
That's an interesting babyface match right there. That's gonna be. I'm not saying it's gonna be bad. I just have to see how that that looks in my mind. It's a weird pairing, but okay.
Then another classic match. You have Moxley versus Roddy Strong.
Oh yeah. Oh, good. We get to run back. One of my favorite bits, I guess it happened this year, is when they did the big tag team and Roddy and Marina came face to face. And I wonder,
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna play that back. And I,
Well, Marina has another match on this show, so I don't
oh,
know
so
if she'll
they
be
could
out
say
there.
she's not. Yeah. If
And
she,
Continental Classic. I think if you have someone at ringside, you
Oh,
get like
right.
banned or
right.
something.
Yeah. So good
You
reason.
get
not
fired,
to be
I
there.
think,
Okay.
from AEW's
I
stipulation.
was gonna say if she's out there this time, I actually could see Roddy getting the win, but you're right, she won't be there, so that's a good reason. So okay, but that'll be fun.
Then you have a €750,000, aka $1 million winner take all match between the Elite and the Don Callis family, and it's a winner take all match
Wow.
because this is the money that the Elite won, but the Don Callis family stole it. So
Yeah.
now this is the match to win the same money they already won. Now they need to win it back.
Stupid.
so-
I hate the money. I don't hate the money matches. I hate like we talked about the spamming of them. But on that team though, it is Takeshita and Okada, right?
It's Takeshita, Okada, and Hechicero
Yeah, which is
against Kenny and the Bucks.
I like all that because you got Okada that obviously has history with Bucks and Kenny, so you play on that. You got Takeshita and Okada together,
Hechicero
so
is there to take the pin. Like,
absolutely,
100%.
absolutely, he's there. But yeah, I like that pairing. So that should be interesting to see what Okada does there. So
Then you have an 8-woman tag team match of
classic.
Mercedes.
3-hour
This
special.
is the only women match
Yeah.
announced on the card so far.
You got 3 hours. What are you gonna do with all the top women? Put them in the same match for 10 minutes. Go. Yeah.
So you have Mercedes, Athena, Marina, and Megan Bayne versus the Babes of Wrath and the Timeless Love Bombs.
Yeah, which we can stop talking about there. I was very happy that they gave Harley and Willow the win because I did like Tony doesn't need like a first ever. She's established, but I still didn't think they was gonna pull her. I think we have multiple episodes said like, oh, this is just no matter what, Willow and Harley are losing, and they got it. The match was like. It was fun up until I can't remember what the sequence was. It was Harley with somebody. I think it was with Mina. And they like had like 2 to 3, like not botches, but just miscues in a row. And it just like the momentum just halted. And it sucked that I wish they kind of like, obviously they're on TV, so they actually can't do that. But it just sucked that way because they had like a good thing going and it just kind of took a turn. But yeah, that's fun. I guess there were reports that Tony's like looking for more women because he wants to put the tag team sequence, like the league, like whatever, the division up there. But at the same time, it's like I have a hard time believing that when you're just doing the 8 women tags and stuff. So I hope
And
that
then
happens. But
this
good.
also
I'm
leads
happy they
to,
got the
like,
win.
I don't really know what Mercedes is doing next. Cause what I thought they were gonna do is like Willow and Harley weren't gonna win, and then you finally do like Willow and Mercedes
Mercedes,
again,
yeah.
and that's how you continue that storyline. But then I don't really know what Mercedes is doing unless you just get like the classic Mercedes of she gets a random challenger like 1 week before the show, and that's her
Probably.
match.
I was surprised on the show last night for Rev Pro. Apparently, she retained that title. I thought she was going to lose because
Because
I
I
thought
think
this
what
was the
they did,
start.
they apparently on the show they like to make people think she put like all her British titles on the line like right before the match, and
Oh,
then she
okay.
still retained. So they
Yeah.
would have been for like 4 titles.
Yeah, that kind of spoils it then. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
David, were
and
you
then
surprised by Willow and Harley getting the win there? First ever AW Women Tag Team Champions?
I thought that they would go with the timeless love bombs, but I'm happily surprised that they went with Willow. I think she deserves it. I really like Willow. I know TK really likes Willow,
Hmm.
so having them go for a nice little run for a while with that before turning it over to somebody else will be just fun for them.
Yeah. What else is left there?
there's also wait, where is it? Okay, then you have for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, you have FTR versus the Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah, which is like a clawballed, what it's like Juice and one of the guns,
It's
right?
Juice and yeah, Juice and one of the guns.
Yeah,
Because the
jeez.
other one, because that was the whole thing. Like I forget which. I think Austin Gunn is the one who got injured. He later got injured in return match, like right away.
Yeah, right. Damn, that sucks. Yeah.
And then you have the Diamond Ring Battle Royal,
Mm-hmm. That'll be
and
fun.
then the contract signing. And I assume there'll probably be 1 or 2 more matches on the show.
I wonder the contract signing. I feel like that's where we
I
get
feel like
the
that's
MGF music, right? Like,
yeah. I
isn't
feel
that
like
kind of
that's the
fitting?
main event.
That's the
Yeah,
return.
they
Or
all
it
sign their
won't be the main
contract.
event. It'll be like the Dynamite main event.
It'll be
So,
the
like,
yeah,
after
it'll be the
2
main event of
hours.
Dynamite. Yeah, the top cap. Yeah, it'll be
The
they
main
all
event
sign.
yeah.
Yeah, and then da-da-da-da-da-da, yeah.
Maybe I feel like oh, you know what? That'll be the main event of Dynamite, and then they'll do like the Diamond Ring maybe on like the Collision part of the show.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
like and keep people watching, but it's not like as important
Yeah,
as the other matches.
yeah.
Plus MJF's there, so it's like okay, he'll defend it against whoever wins this.
Yeah, he could be watching from afar or on commentary or something. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about that in the future. And then, yeah, like I said, we will decide when the next show is because obviously the 27th is that, but we'll wait till we're closer because the holiday. So, show will be, like I said, either last week of December or first week of January. And then probably the show after that, we'll do our kind of year end awards. We'll let everything go out and then we'll do our year end awards. And then we'll, by the time then, be doing Rumble predictions, and we're back into Mania season already, boys. It's like it's not even that far away. It's a couple months, and we're already back there. And then we're gonna be doing our draft shakeup, and then we're gonna be redrafting. So yeah, the next
Yeah,
few
we
months
still
will be
have
busy
my
and fun.
GM, maybe
We got my
2K26 my GM.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
very curious to see. Yeah, I'm curious to see what changes they do or if they don't. I have a theory that they might not do too many changes because they beefed it up last year at the
I
online.
think
But
so too. I
yeah,
feel like we're probably just gonna get like, well, my thing has been we're probably getting like AAA and all the brands and stuff like that as
oh
like
okay,
I mean, because
that'd
that's
be
like it's
fun.
not like TNA where it's a partnership. Like they literally own AAA as
That's
one of the
true.
shows, and
Yeah,
like they
that's
have
true.
ECW and
Yeah.
WCW, and they're like, I feel like you're gonna get AAA as like a brand on
Yeah.
my GM.
No, that's true. Yeah, you get fucking iguana in there, everything like that. So, but yeah, so yeah, lots of stuff gonna be happening. We're not gonna have a lack of content. So yeah, we'll be back at some point in that timeline, and I promise you, it'll not be boring. Thanks for listening.